Yeah, we are getting ready for game one, and the energy is palpable. According to Vivid Seats, $600 just gets you in the building right now. Karl Anthony Towns going to need to be huge in this matchup. Grew up in Edison, New Jersey, a Knicks fan, and now in his first year with the team, has them back in the conference finals for the first time in 25 years. In fact, the last time they were at this point, this man was the face of the Knicks, Patrick Ewing, and if you're wondering whether I grew or Patrick shrunk, well, I'm standing on a very large box right now, so I can see you eye to eye.
I like the box.
You like the box?
Like the box.
It's really cool up here, actually,
yes,
Patrick. I'm enjoying this. But, you know, we've talked a lot in this show. We just talked to John Starks about this storied rivalry. What do the people at home need to know what it means when it's Knicks versus Pacers on the marquee?
Well, you know, first it started back in the day with us against Reggie and the boys. When you look at the Knicks, especially back then, we were very similar. Pat Riley led Knicks, Jeff Van Gundy led Knicks. We were built pretty much the same. Inside, outside, we had Rick Smits and the Davis boys, physical, just like Charles Oakley and our guys. So it was a great battle. We won the majority of them, even though, you know, Reggie came out with a 30 for 30 about, you know, how they beat us. But we won most of those. But I'm expecting these guys to do an outstanding job. You know, it's going to be a tough battle. You know, Jalen Brunson and the rest of the guys are having a fantastic year for us, but also Indiana's a very good team as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Jalen Brunson because he is the face of the Knicks, and you understand what it's like to carry that burden of not just this team, but also New York City on your back.
Right.
How do you think that he's handled that pressure?
I think he's handled it outstandingly. I think it's, you know, from him being around back when we played, myself and his dad, his mom and his dad have done an outstanding job of preparing him. You know, he went to that other school in the Big East that also helped him to prepare them with him being able to win back-to-back championships. I think all of those things have helped prepared him for this for right now.
I think one of the coolest things about these games right now is that, yes, this is the newest iteration and the new generation of this matchup, but also seeing all of you guys, the OGs in the stands together. What kind of emotions does it stir up when you hang out with your former teammates, like a Larry Johnson, like a John Starks, Allen Houston's been here, Latrell Sprewell? Like, how does that feel to you?
I think it's great. The organization have done an outstanding job of making us feel like we are a part of it, and it's great to be around these guys. We've played some meaningful games here in the Garden. Just being able to be around them, talk trash, and, you know, trying to calm John down a little bit. You know, he gets so involved in the games. But I think it's great just being here. I think the city has definitely embraced the Knicks, and, you know, we're hoping that, you know, we'll start today with a great game.
You talk about you've played some big-time games in this matchup. Obviously, you were a part of some really big games against the Pacers, but you've got enemies all over the place because you were the great Patrick Ewing. Where does this particular rivalry rank amongst all the great rivalries you had in the postseason?
Well, you know, I try not to rank them because, you know, we had great rivalry also against Miami.
Absolutely.
When Pat Riley went to Miami, but definitely we had some great battles. You know, Rick Smith, 7'4". I'm going against a guy that is taller than I was. Reggie was an outstanding player. Like I said, we were built the same way. We had the same mentality. So when we played against each other, it was a physical battle. And, you know, we in terms of ranking them, it's hard to say, but I know it was a fierce battle.
Yeah, it was certainly a lot of animus. When you think about this particular Knicks team, what do you think about the DNA of this team that maybe translates a little bit to what you guys were doing here in the 90s?
Just their frame of mind, just their work ethic, all the things that they have done, they had to overcome to get to this point. Last year, we lost to this team. I think that all of those things have helped us to prepare ourselves for right now. Then, you know, you talked about Jalen Brunson. Then, you know, you also Cat, you know, his addition to the ball club. The other guys from Villanova. I think all of those OGs out there warming up right now. I think all of these guys have been prepared for this moment, and I'm just, as a fan right now, I'm rooting for them. You know, as a Knick who have been through all of that, right now, all I can do now is just support them and give advice when advice is needed.
I keep hearing from people who are either related to the organization or played for the organization that despite this matchup, and despite all the success you guys had in the 90s, that for some reason this team feels different, the energy in the city feels different. I've got to ask Mr. Nick, like, do you agree? Does it feel different how much buy-in you're seeing right now from the city for this team?
I don't see it as being different. I just think that, you know, New York, they've been waiting for this moment, and they've been showing it. You know, you look at the strength after the game, before the game, everyone is out. I saw the films of them climbing on top of buildings. I think that everybody has been waiting for this opportunity, and they're just showing how elated they are for the team and to be here.
Yeah, well, they renamed some of the streets here in New York. Did you see that? To some of the
I heard,
players?
but I mean, when I was here, I knew there was no 33 on Ewing Avenue.
Thank you. Where's Patrick Ewing Way? And lastly, have you had an opportunity at all to talk to this team about not just what this rivalry means, but what it means to be back in a conference final? Nobody on this team has experienced that as a Knick. Have you talked to them at all about that?
I have not talked to them about it. I was on the road trip with them when they went out west during the season. We were able to sit down and talk about the season and what us as Knick expect, and I think they've done an outstanding job.
Yeah, they certainly have. Patrick Ewing, thank you so much for joining us. Just so that we can be very clear about how big this Apple box is. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
The Hall of Famer, we appreciate you, and good luck tonight.
NBA on the ESPN.